This is the new emergency department at the Royal Victoria Hospital here in Belfast. It is part of the new critical care building, so it will encompass the emergency department, theatres, intensive care and high dependency unit. So any patient presenting to A&E in Belfast will come to this facility. It's a fantastic state-of-the-art building. Staff are in, just doing bits and pieces to make sure we're ready for opening. And the seating is comfortable seating, and it is like the seating that you would find in an airport. And we do have refreshments provided for them. We have 100 seats in this waiting room, so that's almost 3 times the size of the current department. So hopefully people will find the facilities and the environment much nicer. We also have TV, so there will be something for people to watch while they are waiting. Well, we have put several processes in place to try and minimise the time that patients wait in our emergency department. We don't want patients waiting in our emergency department for long periods of time. So we have implemented a few new things. We have a dedicated ambulance offload area, which is much bigger than the one in the current department, and that will be staffed by a team of staff to see patients, and we'll offload ambulances much quicker and get those back on the road, so hopefully that will help the ambulance service. This is the ambulance arrivals area, and this is where we will take our ambulance crews in to receive the patients. As far as I'm aware, there is no other facility in Northern Ireland to this extent for offloading ambulances, but we know that 1/3 of our patients every day arrive by ambulance, and there is a particular problem with getting ambulance crews back on the road again because of the delays in A&E departments receiving patients from them. We have opened a new clinical assessment unit, so that will try and decongest some of the emergency departments. So for example, patients who have presented with a query clot will be seen in A&E, and then we'll move to that new facility to await further investigation. So that will help with the processes as well and with the flows of patients throughout the department. We use the Manchester triage system, which is a national system used for prioritising patients in emergency departments. Our reception staff are particularly good as well. If patients look or feel particularly unwell, at flagging that up to staff. But patients will be seen and an assessment made, and they will be given a clinical priority according to the triage system, depending on how sick they are, and the ones who are sickest will get seen first. Well, there's a lot of things that would impact on the waiting times in the emergency department. So it might be the sheer volume of patients that present, and quite often we will have days where we just have lots of attendances, up to 300 people in a day. So it takes time for all of those patients to get seen. Sometimes we will have an extended waiting time because we've had a major collision or a car accident or a major trauma in that will have to focus the team for a period of time. Sometimes there's some delays in getting patients into beds, and that congests the department on occasions as well. There is a myth out there that if you arrive by ambulance you will get seen quicker. That is not true, because we will use the same triage process in here as we do for patients who walk in. So if you do not need to be seen immediately, then you will be referred back to the waiting room. Okay, so this is a resuscitation room that we are in, and this is where we will bring patients who are critically ill or injured for treatment. It is state-of-the-art facilities in here and equipment, so we have been very lucky in the equipment that we've been able to purchase. The pendant here behind me, we have the monitoring system, and this ties in with the monitoring system in the intensive care unit. So we can transfer patients from here to intensive care, and their details will upload onto the system in the intensive care unit. We have ventilators for transfer of patients as well, maybe who are intubated, to take them to theatre or to intensive care if we need to. So people will access the emergency department up what we call Johnston Road. So it's the road between the Royal Jubilee Maternity Hospital and the Phase 1 of the main Royal. And the signposts will be up. We have electronic signs at the minute, just highlighting it for people. We have a separate entrance then for the ambulance service off the Falls Road. There will be no public access and no pedestrian access to the department off the Falls Road. So people coming to the emergency department will need to come into the site from the Grosvenor Road or from the Broadway entrance, and then make their way to the front of the main Phase 1 hospital, and the access is up the side of that. This is an adult A&E department. We only see patients from 14th birthday upwards. We have a dedicated children's emergency department based here at the Royal, so we would advise people not to bring children to the emergency department here when they are attending. People should use their GP surgery, use their local pharmacist, use their local minor injuries unit, and certainly from the Royal's perspective you should only be coming to the Royal Emergency Department if your problem can't be sorted by either of those other people and the Royal is your closest emergency department. We will still be the regional trauma centre for Northern Ireland, so other departments throughout Northern Ireland will still continue to refer patients here. So if you turn up at another A&E department and they think you need to be in Belfast, they will send you to Belfast. Well, we will always treat the sickest patients first. So if you arrive in this department and you are extremely unwell, you will get seen fairly quickly. And unfortunately, sometimes people do have to wait, and that depends on what else is going on in the department. But we will try and keep those waiting times to a minimum.